Hello everyone. In this video we are going to program a guessing game. Now the idea behind this game is that you will be asked to think of a number and the computer will ask you many questions to guess what number it is you're thinking of. So here's the program here. Enter a number greater than or equal to 100. So I'll just keep it easy and put it at 100. And then it says think of a number between 0 and 100. Is your number less than or greater than, or less than or equal to 50? Let's see, I'll think of the number 14. So is your number less than or equal to 50? Yes, it is less than. Is it less than 25? Yes. Is it less than 13? No. Is it less than 19? Yes. Is it less than 16? Yes. Is it less than or equal to 14? Yes, your number is 14. So let's get started. So here we're going to use several Python methods. We're going to use functions, we're going to use some sort of string formatting, recursion, and raw inputs, and that part's easy. So not too difficult level Python here. Let's create our function. We'll use our def, and we'll name the function guess, and it'll take two values, x and y. Now I'm gonna put a while loop, so while 1, which is another way of saying while true. You could type in while true, but I like using while 1 because, I don't know, I'm weird like that. So I'll have capital G equal the average of x plus y. So we'll do x plus y divided by 2. The reason we're doing this is that's the method that the computer will use to think of your number. It'll take whatever number it is you say it's less than or equal to, and it'll take that number and 1 or whatever minimal value you give it by answering the questions, and it'll find those averages until it finds your number. So here we have G is equal to the average of x plus y, and then we'll have our lowercase g, which will prompt the user for a yes or no response. So here we have, is your number less than or equal to G. So I'm going to use this is known as this is a form of string formatting. This is decimal. This one here with the percentage sign, and there's several kinds, but the ones for numbers is with D. Now you can also have it where you just put, you can do this, or I'm sorry, you can have it like this, where the comma separates two values, but then if I want to push the question mark, I have to do this again and stuff like that. It's easier just to have it more clean and efficient, just having it all the way through like this, and then at the end I'll just put the number, is your number less than or equal to G. It's the same thing. This way is a lot easier because you don't have to interrupt your string by putting in a variable. And so we'll do our if statement. So if G equals lowercase y, which we'll use as yes, then our value for y will equal G. And elif, the user says no, then we'll have our x equal G. So then that'll be our lower value. Our y here will be our greater value, and our x here will be our lower value. And so then at the end of this, if the difference of y and x, we'll put y first because it's our greater value, is 1, then we'll return y. And then, so this will be our while loop here. This is our average for G, and then if it's less than this and it's a yes, then G will be our greater value, and if it's not less than, then that'll be our minimum value. and we'll keep going that way until it returns a value for y. And then this is the part where we use recursion, so that way at the end of these if statements it doesn't just stop the entire function completely, it will keep going back up here over and over and over again using new x and y values. And so yes, when you put a function within its own function, that's known as recursion, and the only way you can break recursion, or not only way, but one of the ways you can break a recursion is a return value. So let's do the rest of our program here. Let's see, we'll do our value for y. So if y, we're going to prompt the user, and this is where we prompt the user for a value. We'll put it here greater than or equal to 100, just to have a good separation between the two numbers, between the two values x and y initially. You can put like 4 or something, but then you only have like a couple guesses from the computer or a couple questions from the computer, and then it'll end the game pretty easily. So the bigger the difference, you could put 1,000,000 or however big the computer lets you do it, and then just think of a number like 45,375, and then have the computer keep asking you questions till it finds that value. So after that, you get the value for y, and it'll be, guess, or not guess, let's do think of a number between 0 and in this way, I'll just end the string there because I'm not adding anything after y. So think of a number between 0 and y. And then we're going to call our function. So we're going to assign guess with the function guess. And then we'll have our values here, which will be 1 and y. Our 1 here will be our x value, so throughout this function x will be 1 and then it will change, and then our y value here, which we prompted from the user, will obviously be our y value in the function, and then guess will equal the returned value from y. And then after all this, we'll print your number is, and then your number is the number that's returned from the function, which will be guess. So let's save this and let's run it. Alright, enter number greater than or equal to 100. Let's do 150. Alright, so think of a number between 0 and 150. And you see what it does here. It's already done its average. So G is already the average of the x and y, which would be 1 and 150. So is your number less than or equal to 75? Well, I'll use the number 123. So is your number less than this? No. Is it less than 112? Nope. Is it less than 131? Yes. Is it less than 121? Nope. Is it less than 126? Yes. Is your number less than or equal to 123? Yes. Is your number less than or equal to 122? No. Your number is 123. And so that's how our game works. It will be less than or equal to values, not entirely less than or entirely greater than. We'll do less than or equal to, and that's how we'll do this. So we created a function. We called it guess, that took 2 values, and then we made our while loop, which is essentially an infinite while loop. So while 1, we took the average of x and y, and we assigned it the variable g, and then we prompt the user whether that value, whatever the number they're thinking of, was less than that value g, which was the average of the two numbers of x and y. And if it was less than that, then the greater value would be g, and if it wasn't less than that, then the lower value would be g. So x here being the lower value would be g, and y here being the greater value would be g. And then we'll keep running through this using our recursion feature here until the difference between y and x equaled 1. So like on right here, we had an n, so behind the program x equaled 122 and y equaled 123. They subtracted the two, they found out that it equals 1, and that the greater value, which was y, was the number I was thinking of. So then it will return that number and it'll print it out as your guess. Here, this is outside of our function. These values here, or these statements here. Y equals, whatever it is you wanted, the separation between 1 and whatever. And then it'll ask you to think of a number between those two values. No, I guess we don't have to do 0, we'll just do 1. Whatever. And then we call our function, we assign it to guess, and then there we go. It'll go through that. So let's just do it one more time. Let's do something, I don't know, let's do 1000, and we'll set the number at 783. I'll probably forget it throughout this program, but I'll remember as much as I can. 783. Is your number less than 500? No. So now we see here our x value is assigned 500, and now it's finding the average between 1000 and 500. Is your number less than 750? No. So now x is reassigned 750, and we find the average between 1000 and 750. Is your number less than 875? 783? Yes. And so now it's found the average between 875 and 750. And obviously this is integer division. It's not going to show decimals and stuff, so that way it's a lot cleaner. 783 was the number, so it is less than that. And no, it's not less than that. Yes, it's less than that. Yes, it's less than 788. It's less than 784. It's not less than 782. And we'll finally find the value here. Is your number less than or equal to 783? Yes, then your number is 783. So it's a pretty neat feature, pretty neat game. You can, whenever you're bored, just pull this up and have fun with that. So until next time.